Hey everybody, Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, headed out to my local FYE store, got myself a ton of great titles, so let's take a look at what I got. The first 4 titles I picked up I grabbed for $2.97 a piece. And these titles were the actual reason why I decided to head out to my local FYE store. I was contacted a few days ago by one of my viewers, and I do apologize, I forget your name. If you're watching this, leave a comment and I'll put a link to your YouTube channel down below. But he contacted me to let me know that they had these great titles at FYE for super cheap. So I had to head out there, see what they had to offer, and I picked up 4 of them, and that was Elvira's Movie Macabre double feature sets. This comes with Count Dracula's Great Love, Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks, The Doomsday Machine, Werewolf of Washington, Legacy of Blood, The Devil's Wedding Night, what's this one called? Blue Sunshine, and also, they put a sticker over the title, and Monstroid. So very, very cool. These are just excellent. I absolutely love these. And what these are from the actual Elvira's Movie Macabre TV show where she used to host and talk about the movie that she was playing. She'd make puns and jokes and just have a good time making fun of the bad movies. But what I really enjoy about these sets are you can either watch the movie alone without anything with Elvira, or you can actually watch the episode where Elvira does make her jokes and say her witty one-liners. And I think that is a really good idea. I know they used to do that on the MST3K sets as well. I think they stopped doing that though, unfortunately. So I think that's a great idea to have both versions. So if you're really interested in watching the film, if let's say you watch the Elvira episode and then you're loving what you're seeing, but maybe you actually thought to yourself, that looks like an interesting movie. I kind of want to check it out and maybe make fun of it myself. You could actually do that. You can sit down and watch the movie. I think, again, that is a great, great idea. So for $2.97 a piece, these were a steal. There are a few more of these sets out there. Unfortunately, this is all they had in stock. They did not have any of the other sets. So I might go out and hit up another FYE sometime soon and see if I can find any more of these sets, because these are great. And again, for $2.97 a piece, they were a steal. The next time I picked up was Snake Eater 2, The Drug Buster. This was an amazing find. Grab this for $4.99, brand new, still factory sealed. And what makes this such an amazing find? This here is a Canadian release. This movie has never been released here in the States, only in Canada. So finding this at my local FYE here in Pennsylvania for $4.99 was an amazing find. Then for $5.97 I picked up the It's Alive triple feature set. This comes with all 3 It's Alive movies. I've never seen a single one of these. I've wanted to get this set for some time now, but every time I come across it, it's a bit more than I want to pay. I have seen it for maybe around $14.99, which isn't a bad deal. $5 per title, that is my normal limit, but I've always just passed on it figuring someday I'll come across it for cheaper. So for $6, I would definitely say that's much cheaper. So I definitely had to grab this one, and I cannot really check these titles out because I've heard great, great things. Then for another $5.97, I picked up the double feature set of Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned. These are 2 titles that I've still yet to see. I know they're classics, a lot of people love these, I've heard great things about them, seen many fantastic reviews on these movies, but I've never picked up this set. Mainly because, once again, every time I come across the set, it's a bit more than I'm willing to pay. But for $6, I thought that was a fantastic deal, and it's about time I sit down and watch these great movies. Then for $3.97, I picked up a title that I actually thought was kind of strange sounding, but also really cool sounding at the same time. It's a title that I had no idea even existed, so for $4, I definitely had to pick it up, and that was Zombie Dawn of the Dead. This here's the Dario Argento cut of Dawn of the Dead. And according to the synopsis, apparently what he did was just took out all the kind of American humor parts of the movie and made it a much darker and a much more serious zombie movie. And that sounds great to me. I do love Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. Those are great movies, but I do appreciate a much more darker zombie movie, so I actually am really interested in checking out this cut. I have a feeling that I might actually enjoy it more than the original. Possibly. I don't actually know for a fact, but I just like to think that this is going to be a much darker zombie movie, so I'm really interested in checking this one out. And again, for $4, it was a steal. And the last title I picked up is definitely the oddball of the group, but had to get it, especially for only $3.97, and that was Saturday Night Live, The Best of Amy Poehler. Now these I love. I try to get all these best of sets. In fact, I believe I have all of them, or at least close to all of them now. And I love having these. Even though the season sets are great, I don't have any yet, but I do plan on getting the season sets eventually. Even though those are great, I love having these best ofs, because if I'm in the mood to watch some Chevy Chase or some Will Ferrell or some Chris Rock, I just want to watch just some of their skits, these are great to pop in and just see them. So I really do enjoy these sets, and I definitely had to get this one because I didn't have it yet. This is a newer one of the newer releases, so I definitely want to pick this up and add it to my SNL collection. So that's it for what I bought today, so now into what I watched. And today's first Halloween Horror-thon title was Deep Star 6. This one I've been dying to see ever since I picked it up. It just looked to be a great, great movie, again with some fantastic artwork there. I absolutely love that. And I went into this movie expecting kind of aliens, but under the sea. And in all honesty, it did somewhat have that feel. It's a bunch of people trapped in this base under the sea with a creature coming after them. Now, the downfall of this movie, because from what I just described there, sounds pretty good, right? You don't see enough of the creature. And there were many times in this movie where I kept thinking to myself, did they abandon the creature idea? Because the movie starts out kind of slow. About half hour into the movie, we finally get we don't get a glimpse of the creature, but we finally have the creature appear and start attacking people. And it's all about this military base that's being built under the sea. They're building like a missile kind of platform. Apparently they're going to be able to shoot missiles at Russia or something like that. And that's why they're down there under the sea. They find this cave underneath where they're going to put the platform. So they decide, well, blow the top of the cave up and then we'll just put the platform down in the cave. It'll be perfect. Unfortunately, there's a monster down there. So now this monster's attacking them. But like I said, he doesn't appear a lot. There's a lot more of them trying to save themselves from, at one point, one of the bases is going to fall over a cliff because the monster knocked it over. So there's lots of that. There's just a lot of them trying to just kind of save themselves and figure out kind of what's going on. But then towards the end of the movie, we do finally get the creature popping back up. He does come up out of this like airlock and stuff, and he looks pretty cool. He's this big kind of like wormy creature with this big mouth that opens up. He is pretty excellent looking. I really did enjoy the creature in this, even though we don't see enough of him. But it's great to see him attack. And once again, I did feel like kind of this wasn't sort of Alien ripoff, because there's many scenes that kind of reminded me of Aliens, like them having to, fix some things, and then having to figure out how they're going to escape, and this creature hunting them down through this base underwater. So, basically Aliens underwater, but unfortunately with not quite enough of the creature. I would have liked to have seen a lot more of him. But regardless, it was a great, great film. All the acting was superb. Maybe a little cheesy, but still superb. We got a great creature, a great story, and definitely one I recommend checking out. Now, this movie was directed by Sean Cunningham, who also directed Friday the 13th and House and a bunch of other great horror movies. But the fact that he was a director of Friday the 13th, I found that amusing because, and spoiler here, well, first of all, let me say the movie is very predictable. From the very beginning of the movie, you know exactly who's going to live and exactly who's going to die, and you can always kind of figure out what order is going to happen. It's very predictable like that. So, of course, at the end of the movie are two characters who you knew were going to live. It was so blatantly obvious that they were going to survive. They finally make it up to the surface. They're, floating on the ocean, and all of a sudden this creature, boom, pops out of the water, and they're definitely playing the whole happy music, everything's, the movie's over, everything's okay, these two escaped and they lived, and then boom, the creature comes out and attacks the guy, which I found amusing because it was very, very much just Jason Voorhees popping out of the water. It was the same exact thing, and I immediately thought Jason Voorhees when I saw that, and then when I found out it was directed by the same director as Friday the 13th, I just found that hilarious that he basically used the same gag over again. But, of course, our character survives. They both survive, and they apparently, this is funny too, they both survive. They show them paddling away in a big life raft you'd have if you were out in the middle of the ocean, but there's nothing around them. You don't see anything. The camera pans out and it's just like them and then nothing. It's not like they're paddling towards land or towards a boat. Nothing out there at all. So I'm hoping they have some kind of beacon device on their raft that so the military can come pick them up, because otherwise they're not going to survive for very long out there in the middle of the ocean with nothing. I don't even know if they had any rations, but they were just out there in the middle of this ocean. And like I said, hope there was a beacon device on that raft, or they're screwed still. But anyway, it was a fantastic film. I would definitely recommend it. If you like the Alien movies, it is worth checking out. It's just a great kind of sci-fi horror movie, but under the sea. So Deep Star 6 is definitely one to check out. And the second Halloween Horror-thon title I checked out today was Halloween is Grinch Night, which I have in this Dr. Seuss's Holiday on the Loose pack. And it is also available in the Dr. Seuss Green Eggs and Ham and Other Favorite set as well, which I also own. This was a fantastic Halloween special. I am ashamed that I've waited so long to see this, because this is my first time ever seeing this classic Halloween TV special, and that is a shame, because it was fantastic. Had that great classic 70s animated Dr. Seuss feel, very much kind of in the same realm as How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Maybe not as good as How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but still very good in its own right. Now, the story isn't 100% a classic Halloween story. It's more of a Whoville Halloween story, where at this time of the year, they're not, handing out candy and dressing up. But at this time of year, what happens is the Grinch actually comes down from his mountain and terrorizes the town. So that's kind of the Whoville sort of version of Halloween. Not nearly as much fun as ours. But again, just a great story about one of the Who's kind of tricking the Grinch and keeping him from coming down to the town and terrorizing everybody. You definitely feel for Max in this movie, the Grinch's dog. They just really played it out like, you just feel really bad for the guy. He's trembling all the time. He looks so sad. And he's so downtrodden. And he even sings a song about, why am I doing this? I miss my old life when I used to, apparently he was with some woman, or I forget who they say he's with, but he was with somebody who used to feed him, biscuits all the time and just loved him, and he really misses being loved and treated right. And it makes you really feel sad for Max. It's the whole time thinking, wow, poor Max. Of course, and spoiler alert, in the end, he does go away with the little boy Who, and apparently lives a happy life with him. There's also this horrible scene that makes you just really feel bad for a flower. The Grinch is coming down in this cart, being pulled by Max, and he runs over this flower, and the flower's just struggling to get back up. He looks like he's so weak and about to die, and he goes, I missed one, and runs back over him. I've never felt so bad for a flower. It was just a mean scene, but it really gives, really captures the essence of the Grinch and just how evil he is. Now the question is, and I know this doesn't actually matter, I'm looking at it in a completely nerdy way, would this be a prequel or a sequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas? Because at first I thought, oh, well, it's a prequel because, he hasn't really learned any lessons. He's still a mean, evil Grinch, and he's doing evil things. Plus, it's also taking place in the fall, meaning that it's obviously before Christmas. But Max leaves him at the end of this, so that doesn't really make much sense either. But again, I'm looking at this as completely, in a completely nerdy sort of way. In the reality of, these classic shorts, it doesn't matter. They're not supposed to be prequels, they're supposed to be sequels. They're just kind of taking place in their own sort of time. So, not a prequel, not a sequel, but really well done. And it just, again, had that great sort of classic 70s animated Dr. Seuss feel. And if you like, Horton Hears a Who, if you like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, this is another one you must check out. It is a great Halloween TV special, just absolutely fantastic. If I had to say anything bad about it, though, some of the music, they do sing a hell of a lot in this. It's a lot more driven by song, which isn't a bad thing. So the songs aren't absolutely horrible. I wouldn't say they're great, but they're not absolutely horrible either. They're okay. They're certainly tolerable. They're not going to make you cringe, but there is a hell of a lot of them. So that would be my only downfall, is that they could have made it a bit more story-driven and not so much music-driven. But it did work, and it was great. And I would definitely recommend checking this one out. So that's it for what I bought and what I watched today. Definitely excited about all the titles I picked up from my local FYE. Can't wait to sit down and check all those out. I got some amazing deals there. Also watching Deep Star 6, it was great. I really did enjoy it. I do think it could have shown a bit more of the creature, but I guess that's just nitpicking to some extent. The movie was more or less just aliens under the sea, so if that sounds like your thing, definitely check it out. It was a real fun watch. And also, finally checking out Halloween is Grinch Night. I loved it, thought it was a great Halloween special, and I would definitely recommend everybody check it out. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya. Had that great sort of 70s classic Dr. Seuss holiday feeling. It very reminiscent. I'm not going to use that word because I can't pronounce it. Maybe not as good as How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but still damn good in of itself. Now, it's not necessarily a straight up Halloween episode. Fuck.